Hi everyone, back again with me from down under Australia. In this video, I'll be telling you the story of how I got my permanent residence. For this story, I need to take you back all the way to 2010 when I first stepped foot into Australia, specifically Sydney, New South Wales. I arrived in Australia under student visa subclass 500. My visa was valid for 6 years as I was doing pathway from college to university, which was a popular method of study back in 2010. I am pursuing Bachelor of Business, majoring in management. Even before coming to Australia, I was determined that I want to live in Australia permanently. This also means I need to find a way to obtain permanent residence in Australia. So I was doing some research before my departure, and my initial plan is to move to a regional area of Australia to increase my chance of obtaining permanent residence. The plan is to apply for Visa 191, also known as Permanent Residence Skilled Regional. However, my plan all comes crashing down when the government changed the skilled occupational list to exclude business degree to apply for Visa 191. I was devastated at the time and felt my only way to obtain permanent residence was a complete dead end. I was in my first year of study at the time, and I decided to focus on my study rather than stressing about finding another way to obtain permanent residence. But my aim to move to regional area remains because of three major reasons. Number one, I want to improve my English communication skill. And number two, I want to experience the Australian culture because I want to live in Australia comfortably. I will need to embrace the Australian cultures in order to be living in Australia like an Australian. It will also increase my chance to obtain permanent residence compared to all the other immigrants living in the cities at that time. Then I moved to a regional town in the state of Queensland, just above the state of New South Wales, to a town called Rockhampton at the time. And that was at the start of 2013. It has a population of around 81,000 and was much smaller than I have used to. For comparison, my hometown has around 5 million people, and Sydney was similar in population size. I have never been to Rockhampton, but my university's main campus, Central Queensland University, is located there. So I made the decision to move. I stay with a down-to-earth Australian family, and in fact, I treat them as my Australian family, but that's for another video. My study was totaling around 4 years, finishing around May 2014. Found a job in the subways as a sandwich franchise shop while living in Rockhampton, and this is a turn point of my permanent residence goal. I started working there around March 2013 and prior to finishing up my study. At that time, I was asking my employer if he has any managerial positions coming up as I'm finishing my Bachelor of Business degree. He replied that he hasn't got anything yet, but he will inform me should the opportunity arises. Afterwards, 3 weeks later, he called me and given me the opportunity to become a manager. I was so eager to take the job, but I had an issue. I told him, I would really love to be working as a manager at one of your franchise stores, but I am finishing up my study, which also means I may no longer have any visa after my study. I was asking whether he would be willing to sponsor me, which he agreed. Now I have a solid plan in place. I looked for a migration agent and found a brilliant agent managing my immigration needs. We applied for a Visa 187 regional sponsored migration scheme. All up, it cost me around $11,000 to obtain my permanent residence, including agent's fee. After the grant of my permanent residence, I continued to work for him for another 3.5 years before I venture out to pursue my dream of becoming a real estate sales agent. Now, some of you may ask, Why were you so focused on the permanent residence as a priority? There are a few reasons. Number one, I've experienced firsthand how difficult it is to get a better job without permanent residence. And often, job advertisements have a clause that says it's only open for citizen and permanent residents. Number two, I have goals that I want to achieve, and Australia allows me to realize those goals compared to if I was working back in Indonesia. And number three is my aim is to live in Australia indefinitely and migrate my whole family here to settle down. Number four, last but not least, I simply love Australia. I feel like home here. So there it is, the story about my pursuit of permanent residence in Australia. I hope you enjoy, and as always, please subscribe, like and comment if you have any questions or if you have a topic that you'd like me to cover. See you in the next video. Bye bye.